There are no conclusive public evidences that the Lagos state government is deliberately slowing down the pace of development in Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria. But somehow in my head, I think the government deliberately is slowing down the pace of development in Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria. This is 2026 and I've got reasons for this view. And in this video, I would explain to you why I think this way. I remain Patrick, your Lagos realtor. In this space, we discuss topical issues that affect real estate. If you want to buy properties, if you want to sell properties, if you want insight about property discussion, if you want to learn about the intricacies of real estate development in Lagos, if you want to buy safety and buy safe real estate anywhere in Nigeria, then this channel is yours. Like our videos, subscribe to each channel. Our contents definitely will help you make wise investment choices anytime you want to buy real estate. A lot of topics have been discussed on this channel. A lot of properties have also been exposed to property buyers on this channel, and those who have used our content ended up investing wisely. So this channel can also help you, and kindly help us subscribe. We have a plan to take this channel to 5K before the end of this year. Be a part of this journey. When we come back, I'll be giving you reasons why I think the government is deliberately slowing down the pace of development in Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria. If we cast our minds back to the years around 2018, 2019, 2020, those were the years where the hype around Ibeju, Lekki and Ekpe was so high, and everybody could feel that in the next 10 years, Ekpe and Ibeju Lekki was going to be the biggest destination in Lagos after 10 years. And we saw the influx of private investors, private developers, income from abroad being pumped to these two locations, Ibeju Lekki and Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria. Now, Ibeju Lekki was a bit more favored than Ekpe. In fact, it was favored more than Ekpe because the government, the federal government, the state government had serious interest in those places because of the capital project that were ongoing in the path of that part of Lagos, a deep sea port, free trade zone, Dangote refinery, and all those. It was later they now came up with the idea of the international airport on the other part of Ibeju Lekki leading to Ekpe. So Ibeju Lekki was more favored than Ekpe. In fact, there was little or no public intervention for Ekpe. Everything that happened in Ekpe, everything that happened in Ekpe all those years were as a result of private investors pushing in their funds, developing new estates, developing schools, hospitals and the rest. So the government was not doing so much for Ekpe. The private investors were pumping so much. And this is why I think the way I think right now. I think the government, this is subjective though, I think the government is scared about losing out on Ekpe, and they're not ready for the kind of development, the pace at which Ekpe was going. The government was not ready. There could be so many reasons for that. We'll look into that. But this is my argument that the Lagos state government was scared about the pace of development, and they were not ready to even match up that kind of energy as at that time. They were not ready. What they could do was to deliberately now slow down the pace of development by bringing up all those policies we saw 2-3 years ago in Ekpe. The policy on the new the Ekpe mixed development scheme and all those things. This was the strategy. This was the policy the government used in bringing down the pace of development that we were experiencing in Ekpe as at that time. Now, do not forget that even when private investors came into Ekpe, they did not just do things arbitrarily. Even though some persons bought properties wrongly and the rest, bought government acquisition and the rest, but there was a particular master plan that guided the way people purchase properties in Ekpe. The master plan gave an overview of areas that were free, areas that were not free, that were under acquisition. It showed places for residential development, commercial development, industrial development and the rest. And this was the document most private investors used in determining where to purchase properties and where not to purchase properties. But when the government was ready to slow down the pace, they abolished that particular document and came up with something different that until today has not been made public. So when I say the government deliberately is slowing down the pace of development in Ekpe, this is my biggest reason. And some persons can argue for and against it, but I just feel this is what it is, and I strongly believe that this is the reason why the government is doing this, because the government could not allow private investors just take over Ekpe, and that would mean that the government is going to lose out on so much of the goodies that was going to come out from Ekpe. And do not forget, there is no way private investors will develop a particular place without government intervention, because there's a limit to the things private investors can actually do for a development of a place. Now, the most they can do is maybe bring in new structures, bring in new estate schools, businesses and the rest. But those basic amenities to make sure that there's safety of lives and properties in Ekpe was going to be the work of the government. So most likely the government was not ready to pump in so much of monies and face the development of Ekpe as at that time, and they just decided that we're going to just slow these things down. And we understand the government is always run, every government is always run on budget. There are things that influences government intervention in different parts of the state. Population is one of the biggest reason for that, transportation and accessibility. So if you look at all those things, you would notice that when you look at the population of Ekpe, in fact, Ekpe is one of the places in Lagos with the smallest population. I think Ibeju Lekki has the least population than Ekpe. Ekpe is roughly less than 300,000 people. So at the time I checked it, you would expect the government to focus on other places where you've got more population than places that are sparsely populated. All these things definitely might be the reason why the government decided to chicken out. Let me not say chicken out, decided to just slow down the pace and come up with all those policies that scare people away from Ekpe. Because right now people are actually scared of doing anything in Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria. Not just that, even when we start seeing signs that the government is focusing a little bit on Ekpe, because right now that express road from the T-junction down to Itokin, as if you're going to Ikorodu, it's been expanded. Even when we see all those physical developments, now people are still skeptical about buying real estate in Ekpe. All this is deliberate. I just know it's deliberate. Let's keep watching. We do not know what the next step the government is going to take in Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria, but something keeps telling me the government did this deliberately. So stay glued to this channel as we'll be bringing you more information about the developments around Ibeju Lekki and Ekpe in our coming videos. I remain Patrick, your Lagos Realtor. Like our videos, subscribe to the channel. Now, this is my take on Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria. Whoever your view is on Ekpe, Lagos, Nigeria, let us know in the comment section and we'll get back to you. Until we see you again, stay safe and keep investing in safe real estate. Peace.